So I'm going to share with you today how to make a quick but very pretty CD holder in case you want to give DVDs of photos or a DVD slideshow of photos, or however you want to give us a DVD. I'm going to show you how to make a cute little CD holder. Okay, so to start off, you're going to need some chipboard, some cardstock, some adhesive, and that's about it. If you don't have chipboard, you can use cereal boxes, double layer them to make them a little bit thicker, or use them thin. I'm using thin chipboard right now. It's pretty flimsy. It's not very sturdy. It's not very heavyweight, so it's going to work good for this. I don't really want to use a too heavyweight because I don't want to make it too thick. So to start off, to make your things, you're going to need 2 pieces that are 5.5 by 5.5, and then 1 piece that is 5.5 by approximately 1/4 of an inch. It doesn't need to be exactly 1/4 of an inch. It can be a little less, it could be a little more. Just a nice thin little piece for your spine. Okay. And then you're going to need a piece of paper. I'm using white paper, and what it needs to be is about the length of your chipboards with some room for wrapping. So what I did for mine is I have an 12 by 12 piece of paper, and I glued another piece of paper to it, and then I just cut it down to the right size. So I have a little more than a 12 piece here. Let's see, I have 12, and I maybe have about 14 inches here. So I just attached a piece right there, and most people do it so that you can have this be the center when you're doing this, but because we have such a small spine, I did not want that to be the center, so I made that it's going to go on the back side, and it will be hidden, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so then your next step is to put your adhesive on your chipboard, and then we're going to apply it to the paper. We're gonna wrap this. If you don't want to wrap your paper around it, you don't have to. You could just cover your chipboard and leave the edges showing, but I think it looks a little more finished, and since you're going to the trouble of making it, you might as well make it look a little more finished. So I'm just going to take this off, stick it on there just like that. Then I'm going to take my centerpiece, get the adhesive off there, and then I take my ruler and I just put it down there. It just helps me make sure that all my bottom lines are straight. And then you're going to place your centerpiece down, giving yourself, I don't know, about 1/8 of an inch of a gap there. Again, it really doesn't need to be exact. Just a gap so that you can fold your book up really well. And this cover is going to give you enough room to put 2 CDs in it, or you could include, if you're giving a CD of photos, you could print out a few of the photos and you could put them in the other side. You'll see what I mean in a minute when we're working on that part. Right now we're just putting together the box. And also you'll need some pattern paper. Oops. Try to keep your gaps about the same. Then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to make sure it's all stuck down really, really well. And I like to burnish really well over where the spine is so that I can see it better, and then it will help me to make sure that those are really in there. Okay. Then we're going to turn it back over, and we're just going to fold up all of our edges here. Super simple here. And you'll see that my cutting is kind of wonky, but it doesn't really matter because it's not going to show. There we go. And then the bottom. Alrighty. Then what you're gonna do is go ahead, I'm just gonna cut a little extra off here because we don't need that much there. I'm just gonna remove my corners. You don't want to remove too much. Leave a little bit past the chipboard. It will help your edges look finished. It'll help your corners look finished. I don't know if you can see, but you can see I left a little bit past my chipboard there. Okay, just like that. And then you need to get your adhesive again. And I'm going to go ahead and just put it around the edges. I use this adhesive on the book because I find that it's pretty strong. This is I think it's by Tombow. It's I got it at Archivers when it was buy one get one free to try it out, and I ended up actually really liking it. So now I use it whenever I would use score tape. And I have it in two sizes. I have it in the thicker and the thinner. Okay, so now we have adhesive around our edges. Just burnish it down really well. There we go. And then pull it up. Okay. Then I'm going to do my sides first. And then I just take this little bit here and fold it in. And it's going to help me have a little more of a finished look to my CD, a little more professional. Just like that. And then bring up the bottom ones. Just like so. I like to fold it over instead of just wrapping it. I like to, you know, roll the whole piece because then it will wrap a little bit better. All I'm doing is, because some of the tape got hidden on the sides, I'm just putting these down so that I can help hold the sides down a little bit better. This is not necessary because when you put your other piece on, it's going to stay on. It's going to stay down. I just want to make sure that these are down well, because I'm giving this one as a gift and I want to make it look really nice, so I just want to make sure that these are stuck down well. I should have put a little more adhesive down before I stuck the sides down, but I forgot. Okay. There we go. Alright, now I have my outsides done. I'm gonna just work my folds a little bit there, and you can see we have a case, the starting of a CD case. This is my front. Okay, and this is my back, and you can see where the seam came together, but you won't see it once I put pattern paper over that. Alright, so then we're going to do the inside. And to do the inside, you need another piece of paper, and it just needs to be the length of your album by the width. And I don't usually I can't give you a measurement because it really depends on the space in between your spine and whatnot. That determines how long it's going to be. So I kind of just put mine on there and then mark where I'm going to cut it. And then I seem to have lost my cutter. Here it is. Alright. And if you want to, oh shoot, I forgot I was going to do this. I'm going to do this with patterned paper that matches what I'm going to put on the inside. Okay, so I just need to cut this to the right size. So I just put a little mark on two of the sides where I want to cut. Okay. Did I use the wrong one? Okay. Then I'm just going to erase my marks, and then I'm going to take my paper here and I'm going to apply adhesive really well over the spine of the book. And I'm not going to the edges because you don't need to. We're going to apply adhesive to the paper too. Right now I'm just making sure that my spine will be fully covered. And then just for fun, I'm going to put a little of this in the center of my book to make sure it holds down really well. Alrighty. We really want to make sure that our spine is stuck down so that our book will work the way it's supposed to. Oh yeah. Okay, so then after we do that, then the next step is we're just going to apply adhesive to the outer edges of this piece of paper. And I'm going to go ahead and use my tape gun because I'm putting this directly on paper, and my tape gun works really well for paper to paper. I just like to use these a lot when I'm using chipboard, when I'm gluing paper to chipboard. I don't know why, it just makes me feel better, I guess. Alright, then we grab our decorative piece and we line it up so it's centered perfectly. Excellent. Apply a lot of pressure so that it is stuck down permanently. And then again, I burnish really well over the spine. Best to make sure that it is stuck in there well. And then I just work my folds. And there we go. Now we have our base finished there. Then our next step is going to be to cover the front and the back, okay? So I have this piece of paper, which I'm going to use for that. And I know that my chipboard is 5.5 by 5.5. So I'm going to cut this down to 5.25. Actually, I'm going to do 5 3/8 because I barely want any of the white to show through, just a tiny sliver. So there's that. And then again, we're going to do 5 3/8 and 3/8, just like that. Okay. Then I just pick which one I like better. I like this one better. This is going to be my cover then. It's just like that. And then you can see I'm going to cut a little more off the bottom of this because I think I may have messed up my cutting there. So I'm just going to remove the sliver. And let's see what that does. That's perfect. It gives me exactly what I want. Okay. And then my back side. Just like so. Okay. So there's that. I'm gonna go ahead and use my tape gun with this one because it's paper to paper again, and it's so much quicker. So there we go. Gives it a nice look, and then on the inside we have that. And then do And like I said, now that it's covered, you don't even notice that the paper was extended, except maybe a tiny bit there, but no one's going to be checking that. Okay. And then I'm just going to leave my spine white because it is so thin. It's fine with me. Okay. So now we're going to work on the pockets. So to make our pockets, I'm just going to stick that under there to help keep the fold. So to make your pockets, I wonder. I'll do this. Okay. To make your pockets, you need, if you want a pocket on each side, you need 2 pieces that are 6 by 5.5. So I'm going to cut this down to 6. And then I'm going to cut this twice to 5.5. Okay. Now there are lots of different ways that you could make your pocket. The way that we're going to make ours, you could cut this a little smaller and then just decorative edge punch it. You could round the top of it if you wanted to. But the way that we're going to make ours is we're going to put a V cut in it. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. But once you know how to do it, I mean, you can do whatever you want. So to start off, to make the base of the pocket, you're going to score it at 1/2 inch on both sides. And then you're going to, oh, I'm sorry, this was the 5.5 side. And then on the, that's wrong. Sorry, that's wrong. On the 6th side, you're going to score it on 2 sides. And then on the 5.5 side, you're going to score it at 1 side. So I've got to do this again. Bear with me for 1 quick minute. Five and a half by 5.5. Okay, so now let me try this again the right way. You've got 2 pieces that are 5.5 by 6. You put it in your board to the 6-inch mark, and you're going to score it at 1/2 inch there and 1/2 inch on this side. Okay. Then you're going to turn it 1 time so that the 5.5 is at the top here, and you're going to score it once. So that's it. Okay. Again, at the 6-inch mark, you're going to score it at 1/2 inch on both sides, and then you're going to turn it once, and you're going to score it at the 5-inch mark. Essentially what you're doing is this square inside the score marks is going to be 5 by 5. Okay? Ooh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to move the whole camera. Then you're going to take this and you're going to remove the corners here. Just like that. And then same thing here, remove the corners just like that, and remove those corners. Whoops, that one wasn't very good. Alright, so now this is where you can decide what you want your pocket to look like. If you want to edge punch it, just put a decorative edge punch on there. That's cool. If you want to round your corners, that's cool. If you want to, you know, go in like this, that would be cool too. There's a whole lot of different things that you can do, but for me, I'm going to do a V-cut in mine. So the first thing I need to do is find the center of my piece of paper here, and I just put a light little mark. Okay, and then I got to decide, because I want them to be the same amount. I want the V to be the same on both of them, so I need to make a little measurement. I think I want mine to be at the 2.5 inch mark. So I'm just going to make a little mark just down from my center. I just lined my ruler up with my center. And then I make a little tiny tick mark, okay? Then what I'm going to do is from this corner here to my tick mark, I'm going to draw a very faint, very light line, okay? Same thing on this side. I line my ruler up with both marks. This is my score mark here, and this is my tick mark. And just draw a line. And now you can see I have a nice little V. Okay, then all I'm going to do is cut it out. You can use your scoreboard or your cutter if you want to for this. I'm just going to go ahead and use my scissors. Once I have a line, it's pretty easy to follow. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and erase any marks that are left on there. So we don't want any marks. Okay. Then we fold the sides here, just like that, and we fold this one, just like that, and the bottom. Okay, and then your final step, you don't want any of this here to show, so you're just going to cut that flap off. Okay, so what I'm doing here is this flap that is showing, I'm just cutting it off because you don't want any of it to show, and then I'll remove a little bit extra. You don't want it to show once you put this down. Okay, so there we have that. And then if you want to make it easier to do your next one, you can just line it up and draw your pencil mark. Make sure if you do that, you erase any pencil marks that you got on your new one. Okay, then I'm just going to go ahead and cut on the pencil mark, just like that. Okay, remove any pencil mark, and then make our folds here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove my excess from the flap, so when I flip it over you can see the flap lines up perfectly. Okay, then I'm going to take my adhesive and I'm going to nope, that one's too big. I'm just going to use this one. And then like that. I like to make it come all the way to the top and then cut it at the same angle so that I know that it's going to be stuck down all the way to the top of the pocket. Okay, then I remove this and this. I always like to stick the bottom to the sides before I put my adhesive on the bottom. I feel like if I do that, then things slide in a little bit better. Okay. And then just to make sure that I've got a nice sturdy stick on the bottom here, I'm going to go ahead and apply one more piece of tape the length of my bottom. Okay, so now we have adhesive all applied to that. Now we grab our book, open it up, and we're just going to kind of center this right in there, just like that. Seems to work. And then now you can see why we didn't want any of, if you had left some of the flap showing, then it would show there and you'd be able to see that this was attached after the fact. This way it looks like it's supposed to be there. Then you take a CD and it slides in there perfectly, just like that. And now if you don't want a pocket here, you could just put the title, the CD, the little note, like if you're making this as a card, you could put the little note here. You could do all sorts of things. Or you could put a little pocket and include some pictures. Or you could do this. What I'm going to do is, this is a CD for pictures I took for someone, and I'm going to include the print release in here so that they have it with the CD at all times. Okay, so there you have your CD holder. I hope you like it. Oh yeah, and then the last little step, because you want it to stay closed, I'm just going to take a little bit of pink baker's twine, because I love gray and pink together. And I'm going to wrap it like that, tie it on the back, and then, actually I don't really like that. Maybe we'll go like this. Wrap it up there, or maybe I'll just wrap it around a couple of times. Maybe I'll adhere it on the back. Anyways, I'm going to put some twine on there to hold it too. So there you have it. I hope you like it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Have a good day. Okay, so here's the finished CD holder. All I did is I took this flower, which was an earring. I took the back off. I got it at Michael's a long time ago. I glued it on with hot glue and then wrapped my baker's twine around it, so it kind of helps hold it, but it gives it a little something on the front. And then I put a little bit of this trim. I believe I got this at Michael's in the $1.50 bin. I just put it along the edge because the silver matched and I thought it added a nice little touch. And then when you open it up, here's the CD and here is the picture. I decided not to put a print release there. I just put the picture, and then when it closes, that's how it closes, and you just wrap it around a couple of times. And then wrap it around there. And that's the finished album. It's simple, yet still nice and elegant. So I hope you like it. I hope you try to make one. If you have any questions, feel free to email me.